The serene morning on Zoria was abruptly shattered by alarms as alien crafts descended through the atmosphere, their intentions unclear but their formations undeniably hostile. In the capital, Councillor Varen, a respected leader known for his wisdom and diplomacy, watched in dismay as the peaceful horizon was darkened by the looming threat. Zoria, a planet celebrated across the galaxy for its cultural richness and technological advancements, had long abstained from military endeavors, choosing instead to invest in science and art. However, this decision now seemed naive, as unidentified ships deployed ground troops, seizing outlying areas with frightening speed. Varen convened an emergency session of the Planetary Council, where the gravity of their situation settled over the chamber like a heavy cloak. Reports streamed in. Small towns captured, resources plundered, and civilians taken hostage. The invaders, whose origins remained a mystery, demonstrated a ruthless efficiency that chilled even the most stoic of council members. As the council debated their meager defensive options, Varen thought of the ancient archives he had studied in his youth, tales of a distant and war-hardened race known as humans. These beings were reputed for their strategic genius and indomitable fighting spirit, traits born of surviving countless conflicts on their own world and beyond. With a heavy heart, Varen proposed a plan that seemed as desperate as it was necessary, to send a plea for help to Earth. The idea was met with mixed reactions. Some councillors argued that seeking help from such a warlike species could invite new risks. Others, desperate for any sliver of hope, sided with Varen, deciding that the potential benefits outweighed the dangers. The decision was made, and Varen himself drafted the message, a blend of formal request and heartfelt plea, detailing their plight and their need for assistance. The transmission was sent into the void, aimed at Earth, carrying with it the hopes of an entire planet. Meanwhile, far away on Earth, the message was received with surprise and skepticism. Major Tom Hawkins, now retired but once one of Earth's most decorated strategists, was called upon by the Global Defense Council to assess the situation. Known for his tactical acumen and experience with interstellar negotiations, Tom was intrigued by the message. Sitting in a dimly lit room lined with monitors, Tom listened intently as the message replayed, the alien counselor's voice tinged with urgency. After a moment of contemplation, Tom turned to the assembly of military leaders and diplomats. "We have an opportunity here," he began, his voice firm. "Not just to aid a fellow civilization in distress, but to affirm Earth's commitment to galactic peace and stability." The council nodded in agreement, aware of the stakes. After a brief discussion, they reached a consensus. Earth would respond. They would send help, not just to save Zoria, but to send a clear signal across the stars about humanity's role and responsibilities. As the meeting adjourned, Tom felt the old thrill of purpose stir within him. He had been out of the game for a while, but his mind was as sharp as ever. Preparations began immediately. Ships were readied, troops were briefed, and alliances were notified. Earth was about to step onto the galactic stage once again, and at the helm was Major Tom Hawkins, a man who had never backed down from a challenge. The transmission from Zoria, laced with urgency and a plea for assistance, continued to echo through the corridors of Earth's Global Defense Council long after it had been received. Major Tom Hawkins, recently called out of retirement for this interstellar crisis, reviewed the message repeatedly, each viewing strengthening his resolve. As Earth's leaders convened to debate the response, Tom stood before them, a projection of Zoloria's message playing behind him. The room, filled with representatives from various nations, was tense, the weight of the decision palpable in the air. The Zolorians, a race unknown to them until now, were reaching out in their darkest hour, and Earth had the means to respond. "We have a chance here," Tom began, his voice resonant, commanding the room's attention. "Not only to help a civilization in need, but to strengthen our position in the galactic community. Our response could define Earth's legacy among the stars." Skeptical murmurs filled the room. Concerns about the implications of intervention, the strain on resources, and the potential for a prolonged conflict were raised. Tom listened, nodding in understanding, but his years on the battlefield had taught him the importance of decisive action in the face of uncertainty. As the debate continued, footage of the Zolorian landscape, marred by alien invaders and the chaos of sudden attacks, played silently beside Tom. The images were powerful, stirring a sense of duty among the assembly. The plight of the Zolorians, so starkly illustrated, began to sway the room. Finally, a young diplomat from the European Federation stood up. "If we have the power to help, then it is our responsibility to do so. she declared, her voice firm and persuasive. "Let us be the hand that helps lift others in their time of need. It speaks to who we are as humans and what we aspire to be." Her words struck a chord, and one by one, other representatives voiced their agreement. The decision was made. Earth would send aid to Zoria. Tom was appointed to lead the mission, a role he accepted with a solemn nod. He understood the risks, but more importantly, he recognized the opportunity to save lives and forge a new alliance. Preparations began at once. Ships were equipped, crews were assembled, and Earth's finest minds worked tirelessly to devise strategies that could counter the alien threat. Tom oversaw every detail, ensuring that the mission would not only be a show of force, but a demonstration of Earth's commitment to peace and justice. As the fleet readied for departure, Tom addressed his team, a diverse group of soldiers, pilots, engineers, and medics, all volunteers drawn from around the globe. "This is more than a rescue mission," he told them, his gaze sweeping over the faces before him. "It's a chance to unite, to show that humanity stands for something greater than itself. We're not just fighting for Zoria, we're fighting for the future of Earth and our place in the universe." With the ship's engines rumbling in the background, ready to warp through the cosmos, the team felt a collective sense of purpose. They were not merely Earth's emissaries, they were its warriors, diplomats, and saviors, embarking on a journey that would test their mettle and shape the destiny of two worlds. As the fleet launched, streaking through the sky towards the unknown, a new chapter in human history began, guided by the steady hand of Major Tom Hawkins. The journey through the stars was both swift and silent, a stark contrast to the storm they were about to enter. As Earth's fleet, led by Major Tom Hawkins, approached Zoria, the serene beauty of the planet came into view. A world of lush forests and sprawling oceans, now overshadowed by the dark scars of invasion. The sight steeled the resolve of the crew, reminding them of what was at stake. Upon entering Zorian airspace, Tom initiated contact with Counselor Varen, who welcomed them with a mix of relief and apprehension. The Zorians, with their towering crystalline cities and advanced technological landscapes, had never anticipated an assault on their sovereignty. The arrival of Earth's fleet, a cavalcade of steel and determination, was a sight that filled the local populace with both awe and hope. Tom and his team were escorted to the capital, where a grand assembly had been organized. Zorian leaders and Earth's delegates gathered, a tableau of interspecies diplomacy. The Grand Hall, a marvel of Zorian architecture with flowing lines and shimmering surfaces, buzzed with the murmurs of numerous species, each discussing the unfolding situation. Counselor Varen addressed the assembly, his voice resonant in the vast chamber. "Today we stand at a precipice," he began, his tone grave yet grateful. "The arrival of our friends from Earth marks a new chapter in our history, one that we hope leads us from the shadow of conquest to the light of freedom." Tom took the podium next, his presence commanding as he surveyed the gathering. "We've come not as conquerors, but as allies," he declared. "Together we will fortify Zoria's defenses, train your people in the art of war, and reclaim your lands from those who wish to do you harm." The plan was detailed and ambitious. Training camps would be established to teach Zorian volunteers the basics of military strategy and combat. Earth's engineers would work alongside Zorian technologists to enhance defensive systems and create weaponry suited to the unique challenges of the invaders. As the meeting adjourned, Tom walked through the city with Varen, observing the Zorians going about their lives amidst the turmoil. The resilience of the citizens, their calm demeanor in the face of crisis, impressed Tom and reminded him of the countless times he had seen similar spirits on Earth. It was this universal will to persevere that Tom believed would be the key to their victory. The following days were a blur of activity. Training grounds buzzed with Zorians handling Earth weaponry, adapting to human military tactics with surprising adeptness. Tom worked closely with Zorian commanders, forming a bond of mutual respect and shared purpose. Each night, he sent reports back to Earth, detailing their progress and the growing camaraderie between the two species. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Cultural differences and language barriers presented challenges that both sides worked diligently to overcome. Translator devices and cultural exchange programs were established, smoothing out the initial misunderstandings and forging a deeper bond through shared knowledge and experiences. As the sun set over Zoria's capital, casting long shadows over the training fields, Tom watched the Zorians practice. There was determination in their movements, a testament to their commitment to defending their home. Beside him, Varen watched as well, a faint smile breaking through his usually stoic expression. "We are learning much from you, Major Hawkins," Varen said quietly, his gaze still fixed on the training soldiers. "Not just the art of war, but the strength of unity." Tom nodded, his eyes reflecting a fierce pride. "And we have much to learn from you, Counselor. Together, we're not just stronger, we're invincible." With that shared understanding, the foundations of a powerful alliance were laid, one that would soon be tested on the fields of battle. As the Zorian dawn painted the skies in hues of amber and violet, Major Tom Hawkins surveyed the newly established training camp, bustling with activity. The Zorians, under the guidance of Earth's military experts, had quickly adapted to the rigors of combat training. Today, their skills would face their first real test. The alien invaders, unaware of Earth's intervention, planned a significant offensive aimed at capturing Zoria's central energy reserves. Intelligence gathered by joint human-Zorian reconnaissance teams provided the precise timing and location of the attack. It was an opportunity Tom knew they had to seize to strike a decisive blow and boost the morale of their new allies. With the element of surprise on their side, Tom orchestrated an ambush. He deployed squads in strategic locations around the valley leading to the energy reserves. Each squad was a mix of human and Zorian soldiers, symbolizing their united front. Tom positioned himself with the reserve unit, overseeing the operation from a raised vantage point. As the enemy approached, hidden by the early morning mist, the tension among the troops was palpable. At Tom's command, the valley erupted in a carefully coordinated assault. Zorian energy weapons, enhanced by Earth's technology, lit up the battlefield, their beams slicing through the fog. The invaders, caught off guard, scrambled to retaliate. But the precision of the Zorian soldiers, combined with the strategic acumen of their human counterparts, gave them little chance to regroup. The battle was intense, with both sides exchanging heavy fire, but the discipline and determination of the Zorian troops gradually tipped the scales in their favor. Tom watched as the Zorians, once scholars and artisans, now soldiers in their own right, executed maneuvers with a competence that belied their brief training period. The invaders were pushed back, retreating in disarray as their attempt to seize the energy reserves failed miserably. In the aftermath of the battle, the field was strewn with signs of the fierce fight. Tom walked among the troops, offering words of praise and encouragement. The victory was a significant one, their first together, and it served not only to protect a vital resource, but to cement the bond between Earth and Zoria. Counselor Varen joined Tom on the battlefield, his eyes sweeping over the scene with a mix of sorrow and pride. "This was a hard-earned victory," he remarked solemnly, acknowledging the cost. "But it is also a testament to what we can achieve together." The success of the ambush reverberated through Zoria. News of the battle spread rapidly, bolstering the confidence of the population and drawing more volunteers to their cause. The victory served as a powerful symbol of the effectiveness of the human-Zorian alliance, and it galvanized the planet's resolve to defend their home. As the sun set on the victorious day, plans were already underway for the next phase of their defense. Tom and Varen, along with their command teams, gathered to analyze the day's events and strategize for the future. Each step forward was a move toward reclaiming their planet, each victory a building block for the new Zoria that was emerging from the ashes of conflict. With Earth's support, Zoria was transforming, becoming a stronghold of resistance against the invaders. Tom felt a profound connection to these people, his mission evolving from a military operation into a personal crusade to see their world free from tyranny. As the stars came out over Zoria, the Alliance looked toward the horizon, ready for whatever challenges lay ahead, united in their cause and unyielding in their spirit. With their first joint victory behind them, the morale among the Zorian and Earth forces was high. Major Tom Hawkins saw this as an opportune moment to escalate their efforts. The initial success had proven the effectiveness of their combined tactics, and now, with growing confidence, the Allied forces began planning a series of offensive operations aimed at reclaiming territories lost to the invaders. The strategy was to target several key outposts that the aliens had established on Zoria. These bases were critical to the enemy's supply lines and communication networks. Tom, alongside Zorian commanders, devised a plan that involved simultaneous strikes on these outposts, designed to disrupt the invaders' operations and force them into a defensive stance. Each team, a blend of human expertise and Zorian technological prowess, was tasked with a specific outpost. Tom led one of the assault teams personally, determined to be on the front lines, sharing the risks and the rigors of battle with his allies. As dawn broke over the rugged landscape of Zoria, the Allied forces moved into position. The air was tense with anticipation. Tom's team approached their target, a heavily fortified communication hub nestled in a valley. The plan was meticulous, combining a direct assault with electronic warfare tactics to disable the enemy's communications temporarily. The attack commenced with a barrage of Zorian energy pulses, designed to overwhelm the outpost's shields, while Earth's cyber specialists infiltrated the alien network, sowing confusion and disarray. The battle was fierce, with heavy casualties on both sides, but the determination of the Allied forces gradually wore down the defenders. Back at the command center, reports flowed in from other fronts. Each strike team was meeting with success, their coordinated efforts effectively crippling the enemy's ability to respond. The invaders, now cut off from each other and unable to coordinate a counterattack, began to falter. In the heat of battle, Tom found himself fighting shoulder to shoulder with Zorian soldiers. Their courage and adaptability under fire impressed him deeply, reinforcing his belief in the strength of their alliance. As they cleared the communication hub, securing it from the remaining defenders, a cheer went up among the troops. They had not only won the battle, but also secured a critical asset for their ongoing efforts. The aftermath of the day's operations saw a significant shift in the conflict's dynamics. The invaders were now on the back foot, their presence on Zoria increasingly precarious. Tom and his Zorian counterparts reviewed the outcomes, their faces lit by the glow of digital maps displaying reclaimed territories. The victories were celebrated, but the war was far from over. Each success brought new challenges, including the need to hold and fortify the recaptured areas. Tom initiated training programs, leveraging Earth's military experience to bolster Zorian defenses, ensuring that the liberated zones would not fall again. As news of their advancing front lines spread across Zoria, more civilians were inspired to join the fight, bolstering the ranks of the Allied forces. The sense of unity and shared purpose grew stronger, a stark contrast to the division and despair that had once threatened to overwhelm the planet. With each passing day, the alliance between Earth and Zoria not only held, but strengthened. Tom, witnessing the transformation of a once peaceful society into a formidable military force, felt a profound respect for the resilience of the Zorians. Together, they were not just rewriting the fate of Zoria, but also laying the groundwork for a lasting friendship that would extend far beyond the war's end. Following a series of victorious skirmishes, the Allied forces of Earth and Zoria planned a major offensive that aimed to strike at the heart of the invaders' stronghold on the planet. Major Tom Hawkins and Counselor Varen agreed that a decisive victory was essential to break the invaders' will and reclaim Zoria's sovereignty. The target was the central command base of the invaders, located in a fortified complex in the harsh, mountainous region of Dralos. This base was the operational nerve center for the enemy, and its capture would likely turn the tide of the entire war. Tom meticulously planned the assault, drawing on all the lessons learned in previous battles. The plan involved a multi-pronged attack. Ground forces would encircle the base, cutting off escape routes, while a specialized strike team would infiltrate the base to disable their defenses. Air support would be provided by Zorian pilots, who had been trained by Earth's top aces. As D-Day approached, the atmosphere among the troops was a mix of nervous energy and determined focus. Tom spent the eve of the battle reviewing the plan with his commanders, ensuring every detail was understood. He met with the strike team, a hand-picked group of Earth's elite soldiers and Zorian warriors who had shown exceptional bravery and skill. "This isn't just about taking down a target," he told them. "We're fighting to restore a world to its people. Let's make sure we leave them a free planet." The assault began at dawn under the cover of low-hanging clouds. Zorian technology played a crucial role, with cloaking devices masking the approach of the ground forces. The first phase went as planned, with the invaders caught off guard and their peripheral defenses quickly overwhelmed. Tom coordinated the operations from a forward command post, keeping lines of communication open with all units. The ground troops reported minimal resistance as they secured the perimeter, but the real challenge was the strike team's mission inside the base. Using a combination of stealth and precision, the strike team breached the base's outer defenses. They encountered fierce resistance as they navigated the complex, but their training and the element of surprise worked in their favor. After intense firefights, they reached the control center, where they set charges and disabled the enemy's communication systems. Meanwhile, the skies above Dralos were alive with the roar of aircraft. Zolorian pilots, flying alongside Earth's fighters, provided critical support, disrupting enemy reinforcements and striking strategic targets within the base. The combined prowess of the Allied air forces ensured that the ground teams could operate with fewer hindrances. With the base's defenses crippled, the main Allied forces moved in to secure the area. It was a hard-fought battle, with heavy casualties on both sides, but the resolve of the Allies never wavered. By nightfall, the base was in their hands, a significant victory that echoed across Zoria. In the aftermath of the battle, as the wounded were tended to and the fallen mourned, a sense of profound accomplishment swept through the ranks. They had achieved what many had thought impossible. Councillor Varen, standing amid the ruins of the enemy stronghold, broadcasted a message to all of Zoria, declaring the success of their great offensive. "Today, we have taken a giant step toward reclaiming our home," he proclaimed, his voice filled with emotion. "Let this victory be a beacon to all that freedom is worth fighting for, and it is achievable." As celebrations erupted across Zoria, Tom and Varen met to discuss the next steps. The battle had shifted the war's momentum decisively in their favor, but they knew the path to complete liberation was still fraught with challenges. Yet, that night, as they looked out over the liberated base, there was a shared feeling of hope. Together, they had changed the course of the war, and together they would see it to its end. In the wake of their monumental victory at the Central Command Base, the Allied forces of Earth and Zoria prepared for the inevitable counterattack. The invaders, now desperate to maintain their foothold on Zoria, marshaled their remaining forces for a massive assault. This battle would likely decide the fate of the planet. Major Tom Hawkins and Councillor Varen, aware of the high stakes, bolstered their defenses around the recently captured stronghold. Tom deployed Earth's most advanced tactical defenses alongside Zolorian energy shields, creating a formidable barrier. Every soldier knew the importance of holding this position. It was not just strategic, but symbolic, representing a turning point in the war. As the enemy amassed their forces, Tom initiated surveillance sweeps to monitor their movements. The intelligence gathered revealed a daunting array of enemy capabilities, but also showed signs of disarray and diminished morale among their ranks. "They're throwing everything they have left at us," Tom briefed his commanders. "This is their final gambit, and they're not holding back." The day of the assault dawned with a tense quiet. As the sun rose, it cast long shadows over the fortifications, where soldiers of both Earth and Zoria stood shoulder to shoulder. Tom walked the lines, offering words of encouragement, his presence bolstering the troops' spirits. The silence broke abruptly as the horizon lit up with the blasts of advancing artillery. The final battle had begun. Tom coordinated the defense from the command center, his eyes fixed on multiple screens that displayed the battle's progress. The invaders advanced with relentless determination, but the Allied forces were prepared. Zolorian sharpshooters, positioned atop the stronghold's walls, picked off incoming foes, while Earth's artillery returned fire with devastating precision. Despite their strong defense, the sheer number of attackers began to overwhelm the outer defenses. Tom ordered a strategic retreat to secondary positions within the stronghold, a move designed to draw the enemy deeper into their prepared kill zones. This tactic proved effective as the invaders, overconfident from their initial push, found themselves caught in a deadly crossfire. Meanwhile, Zolorian engineers, led by a team of Earth's tech specialists, executed a counteroffensive using the base's captured weapons systems. They unleashed a barrage that decimated a large segment of the enemy's forces, causing chaos and confusion in their ranks. As the battle raged, Tom received a crucial update from his scouts. A vulnerable point in the enemy's flank had been identified, presenting an opportunity for a counterattack that could end the battle decisively. Seizing the moment, Tom mobilized a mixed unit of Earth and Zolorian commandos. They executed a swift and fierce assault on the enemy's weak point, breaking through their lines and sowing further disarray. The tide of battle turned sharply. Faced with the unexpected ferocity and resilience of the Allied forces, the invaders' resolve crumbled. By late afternoon, what began as a coordinated assault had degenerated into a rout, with many of the invaders surrendering or fleeing. As the dust settled, the stronghold remained firmly in the hands of Earth and Zoria. The victory was not just tactical, but psychological. The invaders had thrown everything they had into this last stand and had been soundly defeated. In the aftermath, as the Allied forces celebrated their hard-fought victory, Tom and Varen addressed the troops, praising their bravery and resilience. Together, we have defended our ground and our ideals, Tom proclaimed, his voice echoing among the cheering soldiers. This stronghold is not just a military base. It is a symbol of our unity and strength. Today we have shown the invaders that Zoria will not fall. The battle's outcome resonated across Zoria, igniting celebrations in cities and villages alike. The invaders' defeat marked the beginning of the end of their presence on Zoria. With their main force shattered, the remaining enemy units would soon be mopped up, paving the way for the restoration of peace. As the sun set on the battlefield, Tom and Varen looked toward the future, planning the reconstruction of a free Zoria, united by its struggle and strengthened by its newfound alliance with Earth. The war for Zoria had come to an end. The invaders, decisively defeated in their last stand, had withdrawn their forces, leaving the planet to its rightful inhabitants. Major Tom Hawkins stood beside Councillor Varen on the balcony of the newly rebuilt council hall, looking out over the capital city, which was alive with celebrations. The air was filled with the sounds of joy and the bright colors of Zolorian flags waving in the breeze. It was a sight Tom had fought hard to see, and the victory was sweeter for the peace it promised. The ceremony to mark the liberation of Zoria was both solemn and jubilant. Leaders from both Earth and Zoria gathered, along with representatives from other allied planets who had come to lend their support during the conflict. Tom, as the architect of many of their victories, was honored by the Zolorian people. He received their highest civilian award, the Star of Unity, given for his role in not only liberating Zoria, but also in fostering an enduring partnership between the two planets. In his speech, Councillor Varen highlighted the new beginnings for Zoria. Today we celebrate not only our freedom, but also our future, Varen announced to the gathered crowd. With the help of our friends from Earth, we have defended our home and will continue to build a society that values peace, creativity, and the shared prosperity of all species. Tom took the podium next, his presence commanding attention. When we first answered the call to assist Zoria, we did not just commit to a war. We committed to the principle that no civilization stands alone, Tom said. We fought together, we triumphed together, and now we will build together. Earth will stand by Zoria as we strive towards not just recovery, but a renaissance. As the speeches concluded, the festivities began. Music filled the air, traditional Zolorian dances were performed, and the skies lit up with fireworks, their colors reflecting in the city's shimmering towers. It was a day of laughter and tears, of memories both painful and triumphant. Behind the scenes, Tom and Varen, along with their advisory teams, laid plans for the future. The first order of business was the establishment of a defense pact between Earth and Zoria, ensuring mutual protection and assistance in the years to come. Furthermore, Earth scientists and Zolorian technologists collaborated to set up research and development labs to advance their shared knowledge and technology for peaceful purposes. As weeks turned into months, reconstruction efforts transformed the war-torn landscapes. Cities were rebuilt, and communities were restored. Zoria blossomed once more, its cultural heritage enriched by the experiences of the war. The planet became a symbol of resilience and unity in the galactic community, a hub for diplomacy and a testament to the power of cooperation. Tom, having completed his mission, prepared to return to Earth. His farewell was a poignant moment, filled with promises of future visits and ongoing collaboration. As the spaceship that would take him home prepared for departure, he took one last look at Zoria from the viewing deck. The planet, with its vibrant landscapes and bustling cities, was a far cry from the besieged world he had come to aid. The journey back to Earth was contemplative for Tom. He pondered the friendships he had forged, the battles he had fought, and the peace he had helped to broker. He realized that the war had changed him, broadening his perspective on what it meant to be a leader and a protector. Upon his arrival, Tom was greeted as a hero, but for him, the true heroes were the people of Zoria, who had fought bravely for their freedom and welcomed him not just as a savior, but as a brother. As Earth continued to reach out into the cosmos, Tom knew that the lessons learned and the alliances formed with Zoria would guide humanity's way forward, ever striving for a peaceful and unified galactic community.